All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahawashi Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit of the Rakakwadash. And before I get into the video here, I came across a couple of photos in my archives. Wanted to pull this up here. This is back from like 2018, 2019. This photo was taken in Charlotte, and I had done a lesson on it before. But when you look closely here, you can clearly see a pair of eyes, right? You know, and I had went into, the Lord is always watching, right? Because these are two, so-called UFOs, chariots, right? But you can clearly see right here that these are eyes. You got the fro and the silhouette of the beard or whatnot. It almost makes it look like the chariots are like nostrils. But you can clearly see that these are eyes watching. So hey, like the scriptures say, right? This is Amos 9:8. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power, Yahawashi, are upon the sinful kingdom." All right, and this is twofold, going into these wicked Israelites, but also we apply it to Babylon the Great, America. All right. The eyes of the Lord power, behold, the eyes of the Lord power, Yahawashi, are upon the sinful kingdom. All right. Remember, the Lord is always watching. All right. And the eyes of the Lord represent the angels, the chariots, man, that give the report. So it's kind of spiritual. You got the two chariots, and then you got the eyes here, man. The Lord is always in the midst, is my point. Amos 9:8 again, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power, Yahawashi, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth." Right? And this is what's getting ready to happen, man. All right? The judgment of Babylon the Great, America, man. He's getting ready to destroy this place from off the face of the earth. "Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord, Yahawashi." All right? The Lord has always left a remnant, an elect, if you will, right? Joel 2:32. Joel 2:32, it says, "And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, Yahawashi, shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance." Okay? Salvation is only for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. All the other nations will not be saved. "For in Mount Zion and Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord Yahawashi have said, in the remnant whom the Lord Yahawashi shall call." Okay, so not only is salvation only for the nation of Israel, but it's for the remnant, the elect. Okay? This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 19. It says, "Such a man only fear the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord, Yahawashi, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts." So again, my point, hey, the Lord is always watching, man. One more. Right? Eyes of the Lord. Proverbs, right? Here we go. Proverbs 15:3, it says, "The eyes of the Lord, Yahawashi, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good." Okay? Nothing gets past the eyes of the Most High. Nothing gets past the eyes of Yahawashi, man. All right? So again, this lesson here, more, faith boosters for the elect, the hopeful elect, because, hey, we watching everything, man, and linking it back to prophecy. Let's get into the video here, right? Because, hey, as we know, these devils know, about the return of Yahawashi, who the world inwardly calls Jesus the Christ. They know he's on his way back. They know the angels are here. All right? They're preparing to wage war in the heavens. Okay? Let's get into it.
Tonight, we get a first look at a new documentary on UAPs and what government officials may know about top secret programs on the subject. It features testimony from 34 high-ranking government officials. My colleague Brett Baer speaks with the director and producer of The Age of Disclosure.
We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours.
They have both deactivated and activated nuclear weapons with both the United States and Russia.
Yeah, let's go into that real quick, because it was briefly mentioned in the last lesson that I did going into this topic. Okay, this is from UFOhastings.com. UFOs and nukes. The UFO/nuclear weapons connection. All right, and I got it pulled up here on the left. Going into a brief summary on this article here. All right. But it says the UFO/nuclear weapons connection. It says the text asserts that a significant connection between UFO activity and nuclear weapon sites is remarkably well documented despite being largely unknown to the public. See? Evidence and documentation. Declassified U.S. Air Force, FBI, and CIA files obtained through the Freedom of Information Act establish a pattern of ongoing UFO activity at American nuclear weapon sites, also Russia as well. Time frame. Incidents date back to December 1948, and that's spiritual too, because what happened around that time? You had the creation of the so-called Tiny Hat State, where they officially, pretty much took over the land. Right? It says the incidents date back to December 1948, continued throughout the Cold War era, and would have been reported as recently as October 2012 near ICBM sites operated by Malmstrom AFB Montana. Nature of incidents. The activity involves surveillance and crucially direct interference with strategic weapon systems. Numerous reports describe, quote, mysterious malfunctions of large number of nuclear missiles, concurrent with UFOs hovering nearby. Soviet documents reportedly confirm similar events occurred in the former USSR. All right. So again, as I said before, the Lord is going to be controlling the nuclear weaponry, man. Okay. When it's time for nuclear war to go down, all right, World War III, the Most High is going to be in full control of it. Right. Robert Hastings research. Noted researcher Robert Hastings has dedicated over 40 years into investigating this topic. Scope of research. Hastings has interviewed more than 150 military veterans, from former airmen to retired colonels, who were involved in UFO-related incidents at missile sites, weapons storage facilities, and nuclear bomb test ranges, right? We'll read a little bit more and we'll go back, right? But just to show you that this is the real deal. Public advocacy. On September 27, 2010, Hastings hosted the, quote, UFO Nukes Connection press conference at the National Press Club, where 7 U.S. Air Force veterans spoke about Cold War incursions. Hastings' conclusion and warning. Hastings offers a hypothesis for the widespread activity based on the superior technology demonstrated in these cases. See that? Source and interest. He believes UFOs are piloted by visitors from elsewhere in the universe who are interested in humanity's long-term survival. Motive. These beings are occasionally disrupting nuclear weapons to send a message to American and Soviet Russian governments. See? The angels, man. Yahawashi is letting you all know that he's in control. Period. Last point. The message, the possession and large-scale potential use of nuclear weapons threatens the future of humanity and the environmental integrity of the planet, especially warning that governments are playing with fire. Whew, man. So let's go back. And again, it just shows you, as we read, that the eyes of the Lord, Proverbs 15:3, the eyes of the Lord, Yahawashi, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. The Most High is in control. Okay? Isaiah 45, my favorite scripture, right? And we'll go back to the video, all right, just to show you how real this is, man. All right, the Lord is no joke. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, Yahawashi, do all these things, man. There you go. Let's go back.
Tonight, we get a first look at a new documentary on UAPs and what government officials may know about top secret programs on the subject. It features testimony from 34 high-ranking government officials. My colleague Brett Baer speaks with the director and producer of The Age of Disclosure.
We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours.
They have both deactivated and activated nuclear weapons with both the United States and Russia.
These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers that haven't been seen.
The UAP activity surrounding nuclear weapons is not a historic issue. It's an ongoing issue.
Well, joining us now to talk about his new film, The Age of Disclosure, is director and producer Dan Farah. He says the documentary reveals an 80-year cover-up of non-human intelligent life and a secret war among major nations to reverse engineer advanced technology of non-human origin. The film will be released in select theaters in New York, Washington, and Los Angeles on November 21st. Also available worldwide to purchase and rent on Prime Video. Dan, thanks for being here. You've been working on this for more than 3 years, and you say this is going to be a groundbreaking documentary.
Yeah. I interviewed 34 extremely high-level military, government intelligence officials who all have direct knowledge of this issue. Much of what they know is classified, but in this film they break their silence on what they can lawfully disclose.
I mean, there's a lot of skepticism, as you know. There's a lot of stigmatism about this issue. But as you're talking to all of these people and you're building these blocks for this movie, you get to the point where it's not a matter of if it's happening or if it's real.
Yeah, so every single person I interviewed made it very clear that it was no longer a question of whether this was a real situation. It's a very real situation.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Yeah, it's all coming out, you know. Mark 4:22. Mark chapter 4, verse 22, it says, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested. Neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad." All right, so everything is being revealed in this time because we're at the end, you know.
Human intelligence exists. UAPs are real. They're here, and they're not human.
The questions now are, who's controlling these UAP? Where do they come from? And what is their intention?
This sounds, I mean, it's hard for everybody to digest. And an 80-year cover-up with a country that keeps it deep and dark, and it hasn't gotten out. That's the tough part for people to buy into.
Yeah, so a number of the officials in my film make it clear that a long time ago, this topic was moved away from congressional oversight and even away from the oversight of the President of the United States. And there are certain elements within our government and within defense contractors that have really been gatekeeping the knowledge about this topic.
And there are people in this film who are respected in their fields who say they have seen these craft and have seen the recovered non-human bodies.
I have seen one.
Yeah, so remember, you got to chew the meat and spit out the bones, all right? They're not recovering any, crashed so-called UFOs with bodies in them, all right? So Esau has to throw the bullshit in there to try to throw it off, all right? But just know that the whole account of them witnessing the power of the chariots and the things that can't be explained is real. All right, as we just brought out the situation with the chariots and the nuclear sites, nuclear missiles. All these things are real. Okay.
My own eyes, non-human craft and non-human beings.
They go on the record about the fact that there have been crashed craft that have been recovered. In some cases, there's been non-human bodies in these craft, they claim. And these are people who are putting their reputation and their names on the line. Often you hear people say, show me the evidence. In my opinion, 34 extremely credible people putting their name and reputation on the line is the best evidence, because we live at a time where you can put a video or a photo out and half the people out there will say it's fake or
because
AI.
AI and everything else. The title is Age of Disclosure, and do you think that this is going to start something bigger? The premise of this is that there is a race to reverse engineer what has been recovered by different countries, essentially competing against one another.
Yeah. So one of the big reveals in the film that a number of the interview subjects share is that elements of the U.S. government are in a high-stakes secret Cold War race with adversarial nations like China and Russia to reverse engineer technology of non-human origin.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
We won the atomic race, and we used the bomb to end World War II, and we became the definitive superpower for the next 100 years as a result. The fear here is that if another nation wins this race, it could really change the lay of the land in terms of power.
But for the people who are still skeptical, still can't get their head around it, they're going to watch this, maybe they'll have their eyes opened, but many might ask, why now? Why is it happening now?
So, for a very long time, the public, Congress, and even the president have been kept out of the loop on this subject. In the last few years, senior members of Congress, senior members of the administration, thanks to whistleblowers, have found out what's been going on. And they are now in pursuit of the truth for themselves and for the American people.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
I think it's only a matter of time at this point before we have a sitting president step to the microphone and have the biggest moment a leader can possibly have, which is telling all of humanity that we're not alone in the universe and that the United States intends to lead the way.
Could it be President Trump?
I think it could be. I think Rubio is one of the most informed people in the United States with regard to this topic. And right now, he's our Secretary of State and our National Security Advisor. And I know that he considers this an extremely important topic.
If you were to say, what's one thing that people take out of this hour? Obviously, the bombshell of what all of these people are saying. But where do you think it goes from here? There's such a stigma around talking about this, and people joke about it. This seems like it takes it to a different place.
In our country, we have this very antiquated stigma around the topic. If someone said, hey, there's this constant terrorist threat, terrorists are penetrating the airspace over nuclear weapon sites, who would laugh at that? It makes no sense.
Right. November 21st, it comes out, and it'll be all over the country?
Yeah, so worldwide on Prime Video for purchase or rent, or in theaters in New York, LA, and DC.
All right, we'll look for it. Dan, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, hey, the age of disclosure, right? It's all coming out, man. And Yahawashi is coming to conquer, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. It says, hear therefore, O you kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of the nations. For power is given of you of the Lord, Yahawashi, in sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. Right, and this is what's going on, man. Yahawashi, first and foremost, power is given from the Lord. All right? Man doesn't put himself in power. It's the Lord that puts man in power. Right? Matter of fact, let me add on to that. Was that Daniel 4 and 17, right? Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers in the demand by the word of the holy ones, the prophets, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men, which now the earth is being ruled by the wicked, the Edomites. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay? So the Most High is the one that setteth up kings and removeth kings, right? So power is given by the Most High, Jeremiah 27 and 5. Jeremiah 27 and 5, it says, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. All right. So again, you know, the power of the earth is given by the Most High. You know, Psalm 75 and 5. Psalm 75 and 5, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yahawashi is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. See? For in the hand of the Lord, Yahawashi, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture. And he poureth out the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. And the wicked, you Edomites, are getting ready to drink that cup of destruction. It says, verse 9, but I will declare forever. I will sing praises to the power of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted, right? So the Most High is getting ready to cut the power off of the wicked, man. This is why there's an angelic, visitation that's happening. It's all being disclosed. Back in Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 3, for power is given of you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels, right? Everything is being found out right now. Okay, what this Edomite is doing, his plans of a so-called NWO, what he's trying to do with the microchip, this AI, everything, man. It's all being searched out. It says, because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. See that? So the Most High is basically calling out the kings, the leaders of this world, the wicked. Isaiah 24 tells you that as well, right? The earth is in complete, corruption underneath the rule of the wicked. Isaiah 24 and 5, it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant, right? Because the earth is being ruled under the wicked, man. This is why the earth is in a destroyed state. It's not being ruled under the law, statute, commandments. It's not being ruled in righteousness, right? Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 4, again, because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. See that? So the Most High, again, Yahawashi is coming to judge the wicked. A sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places, man. As you read in was it Ephesians 6 and 10? Spiritual wickedness where? In high places. All right? They're going to be judged by the Lord. Right? Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? So as we just read, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places, right? Hey, they know what's coming. Verse 6, for mercy shall soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. All right? They know that their end is upon them. It says, for he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and careth for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. All right. So their time of ruling is coming to an end, man. All right. This is what they know. This is why all this information is coming out. This is why, as I said, these world powers are panicking, man. Okay. This is what they're having these councils for. This is why they're preparing these bunkers. This is why they're preparing the fight in the heavens, pursuing the Revelation chapter 12. Let's get that real quick. You know, now it all makes sense, right? Revelation 12 and verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, right? Esau's military, his drones, his technology, his jets, his satellites, right? They're going to fight against the angels of Yahawashi. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right? So it's already written on how this man is going to fall, man. There's nothing that he can do. Right? But the point is, man, hey, we're closer to these things happening, you know, than ever, man. You know, heavy time, man. So I just wanted to, you know, bring this out. You know, I pray this is another quick faith booster. All right, Yahawashi and the angels are here. Things are about to happen. Shalom.